What's up guys, TC coming at you from the Speedemon studios. Last video we saw my progression on the Franklin Motorsport racetrack. This week we're riding with my younger cousin Nathan. We're going to alternate videos back and forth, showing progress until we get somewhere. Welcome to our new video series, Track Session, Real Progression.
I only went to bed about 4 hours ago and woke up about, what, 2 hours ago? So it might be an interesting day. We'll see how it
He's
goes.
half my age, but twice as crazy. Lots of endurance and natural skill. My younger cousin Nathan, primarily a snowmobile rider. Somehow I convinced him to ride dirt bikes. It started off as riding for fun in the backyard, turned into being at the racetrack every weekend. This is our story.
Alright, so I'm all suited up. Today, I'm not feeling the greatest. Was out late pretty last night there, but fuck. And well, you guys what? I'm here today. I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 7 ready to ride. So today I'm gonna take it easy, but try and focus more on just staying in control of the bike. Maybe. I bet you 10 minutes in, I'm probably gonna be jumping the whatever jumps right over and seeing what happens, but we'll figure that out soon enough.
What's up everybody? It's me again. Unfortunately, Nathan won't make it here in time for this video to be put together and put out for you to enjoy, so I'm going to take care of the duties of doing the voiceovers. Now, I can't express what he's feeling or going through or experiencing during this run. The only thing I can tell you is that he was feeling under the weather, as previously stated. But on the other side of it, I have not watched this footage yet, so I'm watching it basically same time as you are, and every reaction is going to be a genuine reaction. So here we go, getting ready. Usually this is like the first lap is always like a sight lap, so I don't expect him to be moving too quick, but we'll see what he does here. He doesn't really take much time to warm up either. He's pretty much like one of those dudes that just jumps in and goes at it again. This here was same as my video, as I was saying, super greasy. And because it was greasy at the bottom of those jumps, it also made the up ramp very greasy, and it made ruts dig real quick. Now, I don't know why you went through this part, because that's ultra greasy. Look at that. There's water like all the way through the corner. But he is pretty good at handling the bike, as you can see. During the time I watch these videos, I kind of compare it to my riding and what I'm doing and watching what he's doing, because like I said, he's a much better rider, so I can learn a lot from it. Already, I've kind of adopted my cornering techniques, and it's turned out to be working out pretty well. I just have to remember to do it, because I'm always just like, I guess, in the moment, just trying to survive, and I don't think things through nearly enough. Here's a little braking bump. He claims that there was somebody that scrubbed that right in front of him one time, and he's trying to figure that out now. So it might be a little bit more than he can chew right now, but he's the kind of guy that just goes for it. That's another little bump too. That one you can kind of just rip over it real quick, and I don't really understand the purpose. This one here would be the launch ramp for a double, where you would probably land here, and then maybe double this or triple it. And then there's this little, I guess would be a braking bump at the end. So he's coming through now. He's still riding pretty slow, pretty smooth for what he usually does. Just getting the sight lap in, like I said before. Usually, like, it's good to take that sight lap first, because you never know what's really at the other end of those jumps and bumps, and sometimes you come over the top of a corner and it's just horrendous in front of you. I think he actually goes down at one point because of that later on in the video. I'm not sure if it was this one or a previous one, but it does happen. He probably doesn't go down nearly as much as I do, but he can get better at it. He can work on that. This corner was a little greasy too. I mean, it's kind of sketchy to come up there. Now this one here, this is the first one he started clearing, and that's probably the first one I'm going to try to clear a size from that camel hump style jump that's much earlier in the track. So now this is his first time coming around and seeing this weird corner setup. Like I mentioned before in the other video, that there used to be a couple bumps in there, like a little bit of a rhythm section that brought you into the corner, and it was split in two with two different rhythms, and this part was all open. Now they have the separating berm in between the two lanes, and I'm assuming there's a reason for that. Maybe people are wiping out in that corner a little bit much. I know I wiped out in it once too, where I messed up the rhythm section and kind of went off the back of the berm. that inside lane can sometimes be a little scary because, like I said, that's the one you come over into the corner and you really don't know what's there. This tabletop is massive. As you see, he was going really quick there and he still only landed halfway. This corner here is really tricky, especially that inside line. It's really soft up there. It's kind of weird. You gotta, I don't know, I guess you gotta flow through it. He did a pretty decent job. These ones I know for a fact that he can clear also, but like I said, it's a side lap. He's probably gonna clear them on the next go around. Well, here we go. He comes up a little short, but he handles it real well. I have a little bit of a fear of going over that one because of coming up short, but everybody I've seen do it, even coming up short, as long as you land properly, you're gonna be okay. And going with a lot of the influence of the Moto Academy videos, apparently the secret is landing with your front tire first. That first tabletop is really tough. Nathan, I know he's trying really hard to get it. This one here, I think he eventually clears, and then this one, he always lands in the sweet spot. Well, that could have been a bit further on that one, but he usually does a really good job at landing in there. It's only a second lap, so he's just warming up now. As you can see, he's moving a lot quicker. He goes pretty quick through those corners. He carries momentum really, really well. That's something that I obviously have to learn, and it seems with the momentum that you carry through the corner, it almost makes it a little bit easier to get through the corner. This is the camel hump thing I was talking about. Pretty sure he usually goes for that, so I guess he's warming up to it. This bump here too, right before the corner again. This one I feel like the trick is probably to be going through it real quick. He's already doing it faster than I do it when I'm warmed up, and he's not even warmed up yet. This side here is going to take probably the inside lane now. The ruts in here get really weird, and they kind of always draw you to the outside, and then gets real tricky to go through. Those bumps there too, that's kind of a rhythm section, and I'm sure it's a little bit easier than the left side lane. A little bit less aggressive, less scary maybe. And I know that he rolls through that one pretty good too. He's gone through and held the rhythm. This little section is, I kind of use it to almost try to rest the arms a little bit, but sitting down, like, it's just a couple straights. You can sit down in it. The trick is, especially for me with the Kawasaki, I remember the Honda being a little bit easier in the corners, but the Kawasaki, if I'm not in an attack position, it really doesn't handle those corners well. Here, I'm sure he's gonna go and clear the whole thing. Yeah, very nice, very smooth. That's what I have to mimic. That's what I'm gonna try to do for the first one. That one there, he comes off of it pretty good. Probably looking there quick back behind him, cutting lane, make sure that nobody's gonna come across. Those little kids move real quick, as you can see in all the other videos. This one here too, it feels like on the track, it feels like there's not much of an approach. He landed in a pretty good spot right there. But when you're on the track, it feels like the approach is really short. This is the one where you come over and you don't really see what's in this corner, and later on during the day it tends to get really deep ruts and really soft there. I've gone down a few times. Nathan went down a few times. Even Parker went down there one time when we were learning the track for him. That one there is like a big hill before the corner. Sometimes you can catch a little bit of air on this. Now this part, the fastest way around that corner is obviously the outside, but everybody takes the outside. So that outside lane on that jump has a lot of big ruts in it. Now he just hit it pretty good. This one to clear it is sometimes kind of sketchy because this corner comes up really quick apparently after you jump it. That's something that he told me for free. Now he's getting up to lap traffic. Let's see how he deals with this one. I don't know who that is in front of him, but obviously he's catching up pretty quick. So he's taking the other lane. Now let's see how he runs the berm. Okay, see how he's leaning the bike down there? Like, you can tell by the camera angle that he's more upright than the bike is because you can see the side of the bike. That's something where that was pretty close to clearing the whole thing. Dang, that was good reaction with that traffic. Holy, good job, Nathan. That's kind of scary to catch up to somebody quick like that. So what's this, a little one with the, taking the little one out for the first adventure? That's pretty much what I did with Parker. So that, we're in the beginner class, so that happens. You just gotta slow down and let them do their thing. You know, everybody's out there to learn, have a good time. So now I think he's starting to get in the zone a little bit. Here we go with that camel hump deal. Nice. I think he could have went a little further. I'm trying to learn from this video. I'm not judging because I can't do it. But here he goes with a lot of momentum in that corner. Like I mentioned previously, that actually works out really well. You can see him carry the momentum there, and it seemed like he went around much better. Now this one, see where he goes. Oh, he ends up going to the outside. He gets bucked a little bit of rut. It's soft there, so he went a little sideways on the throttle. I think he was sitting down through most of that part, judging by the camera. You can kind of see where his knees are. There he's sitting down again. So I'm guessing he's getting tired because, like, he only slept, I think, 2 hours the night before, and he was out partying with the boys. So that's kind of the aftershocks. Then I'm sure he was feeling okay when he got there, but now that he's exerting himself, it's probably starting to kick in. We're going to hear from him soon after he's done this run and get his thoughts and see how he feels about that one. Back in the straights, it was pretty greasy there too, so depending where you went, it made it slimy going into that corner. You'd catch some weird ruts inside that greasy spot and get sliding around. Another greasy spot right there coming to this corner. He's gone off this corner before, and it was a pretty rowdy crash, but I think he's going to be all right remembering that one. So that's the spot where you usually get off the track. I'm assuming this is probably his last lap or so. So this part here was really soft. In my video, if you go back and watch, I actually sunk my tire in so bad that I went over the bars. It came up a little short on that one. The approach was really slick and really wet that day. This rut developed really well. It puts you over top of this really big high bump, which drops you into the corner, which can be sketchy sometimes, and it doesn't give you the best approach for this tabletop, which is the biggest tabletop on the track. So the dudes that clear that, they're absolutely moving, and they catch so much air. There was one time in one of my videos where the guy pretty much jumped right over top of me. It was something. Oh, came up a bit short, still made it. So I'm gonna try to get a good idea about how fast he's going to do that. That was a beautiful landing, super smooth. And you see how fast that corner came up? That's what I was talking about before. That's where it gets a little bit sketchy, but he handled that amazingly. That is impressive. I think he's in the zone now. See what he does coming through the berm. Yeah, plenty of momentum. That takeoff is so greasy and rutted. I don't know how he's going that fast through it. There, oh, cleared the second tabletop, landed right in the sweet spot. Kid is booking it now. This greasy spot is so gnarly. He handles it no problem. See how much the bike was moving around? That's how greasy it gets in there. You got to give everything you can, hang on to it. Oh, got a little sideways, a little bump there. This track, like I said, is very, very soft. It's mostly sand, so the bikes move around a lot underneath you. You have to do a lot of heavy control on the bike. There it goes over top of that camel hump jump. Some of the kids out there, they just fly completely over that thing, which is really impressive. There he had a little bit less momentum. Maybe he was in a higher gear too, because it sounded like it was bogging a little bit. Still handled it well, but not as fast as the last time. Here he goes to that little rhythm section. That rut there gets to be about like a foot deep. So it gets a little sketchy going through that corner. It's not so bad right there, but as we progress during the day, it's probably going to get a bit worse. Coming around to this bump. I actually kind of like this bump, as I was talking about in my video. You can kind of hop over it, like sort of like BMX spline style, where it kind of gives you that feeling of pulling the back of the bike up in the air to get down the face of it. These straights, a little resting point, maybe, if you can hang on to the bike enough with your legs. He seems to be a bit more immune to the arm pump than I am, but it affects us all. And I think he's doing pretty well with this one. Okay, so he's rolling over that one, probably calling it for this run. Ooh, little soft spot right there. I did the exact same thing, just a little lower on the corner. All right, going back to the pits. See him take his hand off the handlebar, probably give it a little rest. I do the same exact thing. So that was a pretty decent run, all things considered. The fact that he's running on maybe 2 hours of sleep and probably a couple gallons of booze, he did pretty well. When he gets back to the pit area, puts his bike up on the stand, we're gonna hear from him. And then we're gonna get to the second session, which I will also do the narration because, like I said, he's not here to take care of this one, but in previous ones, if you guys like this format with the voiceover, I'll get him to narrate his videos, I'll do mine, and we'll keep having the videos come out one after the other and going back and forth each time. So one video, you're gonna see my progress, and then the next week or the next video, you're gonna see Nathan's progress. And we keep going like that. Comment down below what format you like. If you'd rather just not have the talking, just hearing the bike roll around, we could do that too. It's even easier, so it works for me. So let's see what Nathan has to say about it.
I just got back from the first run, and I'm telling you right now, I am fucking wrecked from last night. Drinking till 4 o'clock in the morning ain't a good idea right before going to ride bikes the next day, so I ain't doing too good. Track's pretty sloppy. I came around a few corners there, not expecting it, but they must have been roll water in that thing all night. And it's just, it was a rough first couple laps around, just trying to get the feel for it again, trying to loosen up a little bit. But after that, I started getting back into it, and my form was shit. Couldn't really do too much, so I'm gonna go back out and try and do a little better. Just focus on maybe straighten up a little bit there, getting into position a bit better, and hitting the jumps. All right, I'm going back out. I don't know if I'm gonna survive, but that's the goal. Just do the thing there and ride around, have some fun. Nothing too crazy, because I ain't feeling it today, that's for damn sure. I'm not gonna probably do too many more runs. We'll see. I might just end up watching Tim, seeing how that goes. But for now, I'm just gonna make this one and maybe another one, but that's about it after that.
Round 2, ride. All right, guys, so I'm back here doing the talking for Nathan's second round. I don't know if he's feeling better or worse on this one, but his approach kind of looks enthusiastic. So as you can see in the clip right there, I was messing around with the camera, filming my part of the video, talking to the camera, giving you guys the info. He's approaching the track now, looking good. That whole big part there, I think, is where they do all the starting gate stuff for when they have the big races. So if I'm correct, they all start there and then they come around this corner. This would be turn number 1 onto the track. Must get pretty rowdy. Right here, he's waiting for the perfect spot to get in. Those little kids on those 2-strokes are really ripped, so you got to be careful. Make sure that you don't get in their way. That one there, he might have been able to, oh, this one here, this one he could have made it in front of, because that doesn't look like they're going too quick. There's one guy out there that kept getting in his way in a previous video, and it was really obvious in the videos. He just kept lapping him, but the guy was like really hard to pass because he was all over the place, switching lanes. All right, first lap back out there, and he's hitting it pretty hard, like right off the bat. That was a rough landing. That's when you bounce back onto the flat. That gets pretty harsh sometimes. This corner has been beaten now by a bunch of other riders, so it's starting to dry up, but the ruts are really weird in it. And this one developed 2 ruts, which lead back into the same lane, which could get weird with traffic. Fortunately, there was nobody in that lane with them. This is a huge double. I don't know how long it's going to take to be able to hit that, but that's pretty monstrous, pretty scary. This outside lane, I actually kind of prefer it because there's always less traffic in it, and the approach and the lip and face of that jump usually are pretty clean. The only thing is it puts you on the inside here, and this inside corner is usually pretty tough to get, and very often it just kind of leads out to the outside lane, so you end up running into lap traffic or traffic that's actually getting by you on the outside. There's always a really greasy spot there, but usually that outside berm is pretty good. I've run through it a few times, and it's pretty confidence building because I think it's been there a while and it's pretty hard packed. But the problem is it puts you into that rhythm section that Nathan just went through, which is pretty big. That first one, I think you got to hit pretty hard, which is probably why that berm is so good, because of people lining up and just rocketing over it. So now he's coming up this more lap traffic. It's kind of unfortunate because it's a good time for him to practice really getting quick out there and stuff. And then when this happens, you have to just kind of like either get by them or give them their space and let them go. But all these riders, they do the same thing, and I'm guilty of it too, so I really can't complain. But in the tough technical sections, like the little corners and stuff, ooh, he just got the door closed on him. That's what I'm saying about those kids on the 2-strokes really moving. But what I was saying before was all the technical sections, the jumps and stuff. A little short on that one. The jumps and stuff, these guys will roll the jumps, but when they get down to the bottom of the landing and stuff, they just hammer down and they go as fast as they can to the next part, which makes perfect sense because you're out there to practice your bike and practice being faster and practice riding it. But it gets really annoying because you just want to get past them real quick, and then you know that you can get by them in the next corner or the next obstacle, but they always kind of end up right in front of you in the way. I mean, that's kind of the trade-off for running in this class and learning the stuff, and it's really not a fault. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just that these people are out there learning too. I'm pretty sure I'm guilty of it also. Usually when I know somebody quicker is behind me, I just kind of lay off and let them go around. But some of them don't. Some of them just want to be like faster than whoever's behind them. This corner to the outside again, which is like you can carry a lot of momentum through it. But the top of that's always rutted up. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Like Nathan for a fact can clear those, but this guy's staying in front of him, staying in his line, not letting him pass. And every time they get through an obstacle, this guy slows right down, and therefore he's just slowing Nathan down the entire time. So Nathan's getting the practice on the straights and stuff, but he's not getting to hit those jumps or anything else. He could have made, oh, he makes a move on the outside. Good job, Nathan. Now, that's tricky because that inside lane often comes into the outside lane, like I was saying before, which makes a problem for traffic. Okay, now I was hitting that same exact line. I know for a fact that that was really greasy and really rutted. He is just going for it here. Good landing on that one too. The second one he cleared really well. He carries his momentum through this corner. This one, you can get going pretty quick, and I've seen video footage of him absolutely flying through here. Maybe we'll get a little glimpse of that in this video clip. This is his last run for the day. He probably knows that at this point, and he's probably just going for it now to be, oh, he went down. He jumped right over that berm. Okay, he spoke to me about this at the track. He said that there was one point where he laid the bike down because he just knew he was going off the track. That must have been it. He kept the thing running the whole time. That's amazing. Good job, Nathan. That bike sometimes is a little tricky to start when it goes over sideways. I don't know if it's a fuel thing, if the fuel gets sloshed around the carburetor or dumped into the actual head, but when you're trying to kick the bike over, it takes a lot of energy, and it takes your energy away from actually riding. So here he almost looks like he's riding angry in a way, maybe a little upset that he went down there, but he's being pretty aggressive. That corner there, always sloppy, always kind of tricky. Here he chose the more shallow of the rhythm sections. We haven't seen him go for it yet, but I have seen him jump across that first one and clear it, and pretty much the second one too. That corner is kind of nice usually. This is that spline style jump that I like. It's a pretty easy obstacle, and it makes me feel confident going over it. So those ruts get real gnarly there, and it's tricky because if you take those ruts weird and you get thrown a little bit sideways, you could end up in the drink right there. There's another little rocket kid on a two-stroke. That's the thing, is the beginner class and the kids class run together, but there's some of these kids that are like 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and they've been riding since they were 3, and we've been riding for like 13 months. So that's a big difference. Coming into this corner now, yeah, he's taking the inside line. That was my preferred line after eating it on the outside one. It's just too soft there. Maybe we'll give it some time, and it will kind of like get a little bit more packed, a little bit harder. But until then, I think the inside line is definitely the move. Here he's back in traffic again. These guys probably booking it. That little two-stroke anyway, these kids are crazy. That corner was really soft and really sloppy, but they got it all figured out. Judging by that flag on the right side, I think he's jumping about halfway over it. So you got to be moving to go all the way right across that. Here he takes the inside line. I've gone down a few times on there because it's never packed. It's always a little bit soft. There he doesn't clear the double because that approach to it is much closer than the outside line, and it's really hard to carry momentum because, like I said, it's so soft. And there he came up pretty short. Absorbed it very well, but still came up pretty short on it. Now this corner gets a little tricky too because of the way the lines work out, but the outside is usually pretty nice, and I always underestimate how much it'll hold the bike, but the more and more I go and the more I lean it in, you can really see a difference. That line looked pretty good. That was a really cool angle, looking over like that. You almost look like he's whipping it. That kid is absolutely moving. I know Nathan, when he gets somebody real close next to him that's really fast, it kind of makes him want to go faster. He's the kind of dude that wants to be the best at everything, which is an amazing quality to have while riding dirt bikes. I personally don't have that edge and don't want to compete, but he might be able to if he gets good enough. Now, I don't know if that's the kind of thing he's going to be into, but it'd be interesting to see which path he chooses. That was kind of cool. She basically let him by because of the short approach with her in a way. He couldn't really clear that. Makes sense. This little jump into the outside line. Now he looks like he's carrying great momentum through this one. There, you see, that's what I'm talking about, the corner where he comes in and his whole body's leaning into it. As he exits the corner, his body straightens up and the bike is still leaning down, and then he gets on the throttle. The bike picks itself up, goes in a straight line, pointing in the direction that he wants to go. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned from him, and I plan on using that more and more. I just have to get it in my head to use that technique more often. Lean into it with the head and then exit with the bike leaning. Now there's a difference between GP cornering and flat track cornering or something. I learned that in the Gypsy Tail podcast. Now it'd be good to figure that out exactly and use that, which is, I'm assuming, what Nathan is doing there, and then use it to an advantage. Certain corners will be different, some will be just stay into it, and oh, kid went down. Yeah, good job, kid. Nice giving him props there, Nate. Good job. Now he's up in more traffic. Let's see if anybody else goes down. This is another one that's getting his way. Takes the inside. I don't know if he's going to go and clear it on the inside because of the riders that are in front of him, but oh, he goes for it. Yes, comes up a little short. Now that inside also was super sloppy. You can see the big puddle there as he's going through it. Now he's coming through here, going to the inside. This guy unfortunately took the inside too, and obviously Nathan's a bit quicker because he caught up to him right in the corner. This corner can get a little bit sketchy for me sometimes too, but I'm sure Nathan's just not even thinking about it. Now, see if he goes on the inside of this corner, which is going to take him over, not the big bump, but the small part, which will carry more momentum into that massive tabletop. So let's see how he goes through it here. A little soft, you can see the bike got a little fishtailing on him, but he's going quick as hell. Oh, I would say that's his furthest landing of the day. That's what I'm talking about with the real progression, track sessions. Every time we get out there, we get a little bit better. And every time we get out there, Nathan gets better than my better. But that's part of the adventure. See how he progresses. Oh, the front end was high there. That must have been a little bit nerve-wracking. And then you come into that corner right there. I almost wish that corner just kind of went left instead and looped back around to those tables. But, I mean, it is what it is. That's probably just me thinking lazy. So he is really booking it now. Over the second table. Clears, beautiful landing. You can see the camera didn't even shake. He landed that so smooth. That one was a little bit rougher. In one of the previous videos, he actually lands really hard there and knocks the camera out of focus. Puts it in a weird direction. This part's easy to go real quick on those bumps. You can kind of catch air off them, so you got to be a little careful, especially when coming up to this part, because you might end up just airing it right out. This little camel hump jump. Oh, he's going real quick. That was a really nice landing. He went over that pretty fast. I'd love to know what gear he's in. Too bad we can't have an overlay over top of the camera showing that. It's carrying huge momentum. Oh, dug a little deep with the front end there. Like I was saying, this track is a lot of sand. It's very, very, very soft. It's really not what we're used to. Our track is like a clay base, so it gets really hard packed. Really hard surface. So this is like often sloppy. And oh, he's going quick through the rhythm. He got the first one, the second one. Things got a bit rough, but the guy is flying. Coming over that little spline style bump. Now he's into the straights with the corners. Corners get a little sketchy, but you can sit down, squeeze the bike with your legs, lean into it, and relax your arms a little bit. I don't think he gets arm pump as bad as I do, but at this point, he's got to be feeling something. Now he's coming up quick on this guy here. You'll see if he gets by him, or oh, no, the guy's moving too. Let's see if he carries momentum through the corners. We're getting close to the end of the run now, but he's still going pretty strong. Oh, he doubles it. Traffic right there, that can get a little sketchy, but he is gone. Goes way inside on that one. Oh, yeah, that's where things get a little tricky, because that's a new corner. That sand is always super soft. It's a little tough to get through there. Oh, goes over the table after that one. There's like a step down table in the back of that thing. I'm not really sure if that's what you would call it, but I guess so. Coming over the high point. You never know what's on the other side of that corner. You got to be a little careful about that. Now let's see who's in front of him moving. So with some fast guys now, so let's see what happens. This guy here, hopefully this guy's going to go to the outside for sure. Guy on the inside obviously is going inside. This is going to make him a little bit of lap traffic to get through. He's probably not going to double this one, but he might. Oh, he's going on the inside a bit more. Comes through quick, but not quite a double. Uses the speed there to get through. If he doubles this, he's going to get well ahead of that one. All right, he's pretty good. A little bit of a bounce on that landing. That must have been a little sketchy again. Into what I'm assuming is the final corner. Coming around from one table. I'm not sure where the finish line is when they actually run races on this, but Judging by where the stands are, it's probably one of these tables. I don't know if it's that one, but it might be, because you can go pretty big on that one. I doubt it's that one, it's a little shallow. And this one's way too far away from the stands. Because the first corner was over there, it's probably that first small table or the very first table in the set of threes. And he's carrying great momentum there. You can see how he leaned the bike down and cracked the throttle and just straightened out. He's coming back a little slower through this run. He might be topping out there. Maybe it's the last lap. Coming up to that camel jump, he's got speed. Cleared it pretty decently, touched the top. You can see it was like a very, very minor case, but handled it nonetheless. Yeah, he's taking a little bit less momentum through there. The corners are pretty gnarly. It takes so much energy to muscle the bike through that, because you're always fighting the steering and digging deep with the front end and trying to keep the bike up, coming around that rut. And you're always trying to stick it in the rut too, and it's tricky because you have to have enough momentum. Okay, he's doing great now. The rhythm section started bouncing off the face of the last couple, but he's figuring it out, taking a little bit more speed at it every time. Back over the spline, into the straights and the corners. This is a good time, I said, to rest. Sometimes you can hopefully sneak by people too. A couple different lines there. I'm starting to think that maybe those pieces that never get touched on the very inside might be a good line to get into. Maybe you can just kind of make your own line because it's soft. If you get in there, lean and hold the throttle down, the bike will stay straight, and hopefully that'll get you through it. I'm going to try and work on that next time. I'm going to maybe attempt that. See if he hits this double. Probably not. All right. Lap traffic in front, it can get a little sketchy to start flying over that, because you never know what they're going to do, if they're going to turn out in front or which way. See that one, he went off the track, so if Nathan tried to go on the outside to pass him, that could have been a big issue. Taking the inside line again, very tight inside, goes through it smooth that time, which is nice. Last time he had a little trouble in there, but it's super soft. Got it maybe a bit high on that berm, but this table got on the first landing part beautifully. Coming around to this corner where he's going to go up that big hump before that tight corner, before the monster table. Now when you're coming up that, the video kind of does it justice, but not quite. But when you're up on top of that bump, you're pretty high up in the air. This bump, you have to get all the speed in the world to try to get over it. He's consistently landing in the same spot, which is about halfway. I'm nowhere close to that, so I'm not judging. I'm just making comment. And then he's coming up to the doubles now. Let's see if he goes double it. Oh, not quite. That guy sort of cased it right in front of him. Not bad though, but they're moving. So here he goes again. Lap traffic. It gets sketchy to jump when somebody's in the way. You don't want to basically run into him. Coming back around the first corner. Small table, which is possibly the finish line. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you know, put it in the comments. Feel free to comment any criticism, constructive, whatever, mean, be a dick, it's fine. Here he goes. Found a pretty good line on that table where it looks pretty smooth. The camera really doesn't do it justice. Like I said, ruts start to dig, and you don't see it in the film as much as we see it on the track. And Nathan handles it pretty well, but I personally, I get a little squirrely going off of them. Sometimes I'm in the air and I'm not floating the way I want to. I'm not there enough where I'm going to pull the bike back, and it makes me a little nervous, but I am getting better at it. I can feel it in the air. I can sometimes get it back, but as long as my focus is on point. He's coming over the camel back jump. We're talking about focus. I'm assuming his must be running out, because I have a hard time if I don't get more than 6 hours sleep, never mind running on 2 hours of sleep. And I don't really drink because of the reason of a hangover now will last me like 2 days. So I really don't know how the heck this kid's hanging onto the bike, but he's doing good. He's taking the inside line, going to the rhythm section, see what he does here. He's coming up to it pretty quick. Yeah, clears the first one, nice. Runs face first in the other ones, but clearing that first one is like a really big step, and he's doing it really well. Probably the trick is going to be just to hammer on that gas and go quicker through the next set, because the jumps look way less aggressive, and to get over it in a rhythm fashion is going to take a lot of speed. I think it's not something I'm ready for, but I'm pretty sure Nathan is. I think he's almost ready to start running the amateur class. There's a huge gap between beginner class and amateur class. Now those guys clear almost everything, not maybe the biggest stuff, but they consistently get over everything, and Nathan's just about there. I think for confidence reasons, he's probably going to run in the beginner class a little bit more, but in the very, very near future, I'm sure he's going to switch up classes. Then he could probably run both a little bit and feel it out. So that's going to be it for this run, and I'm pretty sure after this one he calls it quits because of the day's condition. Now we're going to get back to the pits with him. We're going to see what he says and see how he feels about the day, and that's going to be it for the pilot episodes of this video series. Thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments or anything you want to say or ask, or if you like the videos with the commentary, or you'd rather just hear the bikes running and what's going on, it's really hard to talk to the camera while we're riding. We might have to work on that and get better at it, but for now, if you like it, comment. If you don't like it, comment that too. We'll change this stuff around, make it something that you guys really want to watch, something you'd enjoy. We're filming our progression on the track, both amateur riders. Nathan's learning a lot quicker than I am, but like I said earlier, he's half my age and he's twice as crazy. So we're just going to keep on running this back and forth. One video is going to be my progress, one video is going to be Nathan's progress, and we'll see where we go with it. So ride along, subscribe, enjoy the videos, and we're going to finish it off with Nathan's thoughts, and we will see you next time.
Okay, so I just did another run. I don't feel great. I'm fucking hitting the ground. Can't hold my arms up straight. I can't save anything, so I'm getting scared. I'm gonna drop the bike and break something, so I'm just gonna call it there. Tim's gonna go ride some more. I'm gonna film him and try and figure some stuff out, but that's it for me for today, because too fucking rough, and I ain't doing too good.
Oh, so boys and girls, that is our day.
The only thing I learned today is riding bikes hungover is not very fun. If you're feeling weak, it's easy to wipe out.